Hey guys, Chasta here. You're watching Soundwaves TV. Such an exciting start for Soundwaves Season 2. We've got Stevie Loveless with us, our first musical guest on Season 2, which, if I remember right, I think you were part of our first guest on Season 1, right?
Yes.
So it's
absolutely.
tradition now.
It is, yeah, absolutely now.
So I really wanted to get Stevie on. I wanted to separate you out because you're a big part of Dave Friday Band. You're also a big part of the SJ Syndicate. And that's kind of what I wanted to focus on with you because I find your whole musical situation really fascinating because you're the busiest human I know. Mm-hmm. You're one of the coolest humans I know because you do a lot for this community. And when I mean community, musical community, you really build people up. You play a lot. You do a lot of shows. And you're one of the people in it that's living it the most.
Wow.
So I want to talk to you about how do you pull that off and the balance that it must take to deal with multiple bands and all these personalities and all of that. Mm-hmm. So first question is, do you need more coffee?
I'm not even a coffee drinker, if you believe it.
What?
Like, no.
Are you an energy drink kind of guy?
I am. I am.
You never stop.
I know.
Which I don't either. So, I mean, I get it, but.
I like being busy.
Yeah.
And then when I think I don't want to be busy, I'm like, I drive myself crazy.
Then you get the shakes and you need to go.
It's like I get the DTs. Like,
yeah.
I got to get back to it.
Yeah.
And it's like one day off is pretty cool for me.
Yeah.
After that, I'm like, I gotta go.
Yeah. Have you always, how long have you been in the community, in the rock scene here?
I started playing in the Bay Area when I was 14, 15 years old.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
Just in, random bands that did nothing.
Yeah.
But, I've been around for a long time.
Yeah.
We had a couple clubs out here that were all ages, and so I was able to go to those. I remember my mom taking me to these shows and picking us up, and it was a good time.
Good mama, good parenting.
So I've been around for a long time. So I've seen a lot of bands come and go. I've seen a lot of bands come up and do really well, do really good stuff.
Yeah.
I've seen some bands get signed out of here and go on to do some really cool stuff.
Yeah. So from that time to now, I'm sure there's a big difference in the scene.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you feel about you're seeing the scene from a couple different angles in the bands that you're in, playing all over the place? How do you feel about the scene right now?
Meaning like where the local bands are landing?
Like, do you feel like it's bubbling? Do you feel like it's in a good place? Are you excited about what's happening right now?
I'm excited about what's happening.
Okay.
I think local music is having a resurgence, and I think bands are seeing that you can do stuff outside of like the local bar.
Yeah.
Like you can go play places like the Ace of Spades or these big rooms or the Whiskey A Go Go or you're not tied to staying at just some local bar. And I think for a long time, I think a lot of bands were stuck in that position
in that local bar.
Like, oh, we can only play the corner bar because we're just a local band.
Right.
And it's like, it's not the mentality to have.
Yeah.
It's not the mentality I take with my bands. But overall, to really go back to your question, is I think the local bands and local music are in a good place.
Yeah. I think so too. I feel like 2019 is bubbling. It seems like we've had a lot of conversations on Soundwaves and our Soundwaves family about this kind of notion about what's next. And it feels like, in the 90s were a really great time for music, not just here, but in Seattle and different markets in the country. It sort of feels like we're at that like precipice right now, like where it's like a launching pad.
People are hungry, I think. I think people
they're hungry. That's a good way to say
it. For new music.
Yeah.
You think about like Guns N' Roses was the biggest rock tour of 2016-17.
Yeah.
Metallica as well.
Yeah.
People are ready for that next band. And then you got bands like Greta Van Fleet and stuff and that are doing wonders for
rock
and roll.
Yeah. Just for the light to be shined on rock, really.
Yeah, like it or not, like them or not.
Yeah.
They're putting you as a local band in bigger clubs because people want to see it.
Exactly.
So
it's good for rock as a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's again, I think the rock and roll scene is having a resurgence.
Yeah.
Not just locally.
Yeah. Going back to your multiple bands, Baby Huey and I, when we interview people at the Bone that are, in these multiple bands, we always ask this question because we're not artists. We don't write songs. We don't understand what happens in there, when it comes to music. So if you're writing a song, let's say, how do you know if that is a Dave Friday band song or is this something better for another band, SJ Syndicate or whatever bands you've been in the past?
So a lot of times I'll write something and it kind of depends on who gets sent to first, right?
Yeah.
Like I'll just write something and it'll be because both bands are just kind of rock and roll bands, right? So the way I write, a lot of times it'll just be an idea, and then I'll send it to Dave, and either he'll like it. Right. Or he won't. If he doesn't like it, then I'll try Phil, right? Like, okay, well, he doesn't like it. The other guy might.
And do they, I mean, they know now, but do they know that that's sort of how you work? Like you kind of pass. Somebody's getting maybe sloppy seconds. I'm kidding. It's all for the good.
But there's also other times where I'll sit down and I'll be like, okay, it's going to be a Day Friday thing.
We're going to work on Day Friday stuff. That's what this is.
And with Day Friday, it's really like Dave and I will get together and we'll demo songs, him and I together.
Yeah, okay.
So a lot of times, like, you know, I'll come up with a 30-second piece.
Right.
And as will he. And then we'll get together and we'll hash out the rest of it. Because they'll be like, okay, so that initial piece, we're like, oh, yeah, I really like that little riff.
Yeah.
Let's build off of that. But there is times where it's, oh, yeah, this song's, oh, Dave didn't like it.
You're like, I'm feeling this, and then Phil, excuse me.
Or vice versa, you know?
Yeah.
And it's happened, and it's been changed and turned into, you know, either a Day Friday song or an SJ Syndicate song, because there is no really soul writer in either band. I mean, the first record for Day Friday, Dave wrote that whole record.
Okay, gotcha. He wrote it before he really figured out who the band was.
Yeah,
okay, that's what I thought.
And he wrote that whole thing. So that whole first record is
all
Dave.
him.
Yeah.
Wow, it's great. He's such an incredible talent too.
And now this second record that we're working on is really a collaboration of the band.
Yeah.
You know, that he built.
Yeah, that's so amazing. Okay, so you guys played the Christmas show from last year, from 2018. Yeah. You played It's So Easy.
Yeah.
So we're going to go take a pause, show that video, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit more about the local band scene here in the Bay. You're watching Soundwaves TV. Enjoy. Hey guys, that was Dave Friday Band. We've got Stevie Loveless, the legendary musician that you are. I know, right? Build it up, build it up. You're not going to be able to walk out of here. Your head's going to be so big. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about all the roles that you play, because we talk a lot about the local music scene. And of course, a lot of that has to do with bands getting out and being in venues, right? But it also has a lot to do with what you do on social media.
Nowadays,
it really does. I mean, in 2019.
What is the equivalent of flyering?
Exactly. It's 2019 flyering. Yeah.
You have to do it.
Yeah.
And you have to stay up on it.
Yeah.
Because who cares?
Yeah.
If you don't, you know, right?
No, you go away just like that if you don't.
We're in an age of instant gratification.
It's nuts.
Right?
And you
gotta stay on top of it.
You are so much better at social than I am. Like I just want to have it at top of mind, but I don't all the time. And I see your post and I'm like, God, he's so good. Because do you have like a plan in your head of what you want to post?
Sometimes not though. You know, right? Sometimes I'll just dig through old posts and sit and think of, okay, well, what am I going to talk about? Or what am I going to say that's going to, captivate something? Because I mean, I don't want to just put out like, oh, hey, here we are playing, with Ace Frehley.
Playing this show again. Like, yeah.
You know, I mean, I want to captivate the audience. And so, we have, both bands have such a wide audience that, like, I try to get photos up as quickly as possible.
Yeah. That is amazing. I will say that is a superhero trait that you have. Like, we'll do a shoot and you'll have those within hours.
Yeah.
Like a drive to the email. It's incredible. Yeah. It's just, the turnaround.
Because, I mean, once the event's done, right, 3 days later, no one cares about it.
So
right?
true.
And so people that couldn't go or couldn't make it, or they're out of country, they're out of state, you try to bring them into your world in that event
in real time,
in
as much as you can.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm the guy that goes back from the show and I'm up till 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Dealing with photos, or I'm waiting for my photographer to send me photos.
Yeah. It really is so important, the social aspect of it, because like you said, like it used to be, we talked about in the first segment about Guns N' Roses. I had a friend who was on the Strip in the day when no one knew who Axl Rose was. He was this little redheaded quiet kid that was passing out flyers, and those stories are amazing to me. Unfortunately, social media doesn't really have that feeling of the story, like, oh, I saw a post from Stevie Loveless back in the day.
Right.
But I think there's really a story to be told there. And I do love how you do it, because it's not self-promotion all the time. I love you talk about the local scene. You talk about giving love to people that set up your shows. And I think that's a really good point to make.
I also try to include other bands, right? Other bands that I'm passionate about, or I like, or I'm about, I just, if my bands have got a certain reach, right, and I can turn my fans onto a band that I'm a fan of, then I'm all about it.
Yes.
So there's just so much you can do with social media. I mean, like you said, it's not just about self promotion. It can be about promoting your friends and promoting
and building this family.
Yeah, right.
Building this local scene family. That's what Soundwaves TV is all about. That's what we do at the Bone as much as humanly possible. We try to give a platform to build this family. And we talked about the candle. Should I bring that up again?
Yeah.
It's one of my things I live by. It's a Buddhist saying that I'm totally going to botch, but the basic idea is that everybody has a candle, right? And if somebody else's candle is lit in a room, it doesn't dim your candle, it brightens the whole room.
And when I came in today, I was telling you that I was watching your interview with Zed, and it just resonates with me because it's how I try to be, and you put it into words. It's like, oh yeah, see, that's totally it.
Well, you and I kind of live by, we're all about community over competition.
Yeah,
because it doesn't help any of us, bands, any of us to compete with one another. Who is that helping?
When I was coming up, it was like all these bands were all cool with each other. They were all friends. They were all lifted each other up.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Yeah.
And then somewhere in like the early 2000s, it became like, oh, I'm better than you and blah, blah, big chest.
Yep. This just doesn't serve anyone.
But I'm seeing now that it's starting to come back around. It's starting to come back around to like, oh yeah, we're all in this together, and let's help each other.
Yeah.
And I think it's awesome.
Go to each other's shows, post each other's things, wear each other's shirts. Like it really is a family.
But even beyond that, like I'm helping some other bands with their media. And,
yeah, right.
And it's
people wouldn't even know that. Like you're doing graphics for other bands behind the scenes. That's so cool.
Yeah, and it's not stuff that I need to go out and tell everybody.
Right.
But it's like it's what you do.
Right.
And so I don't need to put it out in the forefront. Oh, I'm doing this or that. I'm just doing it.
Yeah. I don't want to preach right now, but I think with that's the whole lesson of the day, is that we really need to reach out and help one another, and just egos aside, competition aside, if all of us get together and we're, a family, we put community over competition, then I think all the ships in the harbor rise,
And that's exactly it.
We'll all be better for it.
We'll all be better for it.
Yeah. I love you. I do. I follow everything you do. You're an inspiration on social media. I'll get there one day. But thank you for being here. You guys check out Dave Friday Band and SJ Syndicate and Stevie Loveless on all the things. You're very easy to find.
Yeah. Very easy.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us.
Of course.
We appreciate all you do.
We appreciate you.
Let's hug it out, bro.
Hug it out.